In Captain America the Winter Soldier, it's revealed that Hydra had infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. a long time ago, and over the course of that movie, they were going to disband S.H.I.E.L.D., ultimately having S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra not exist anymore. And although that plot point worked for the movie, in hindsight, getting rid of S.H.I.E.L.D. was not a good idea. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, everything, quote unquote, is connected. So with everything being connected, they started a TV show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now you have to give kudos to Marvel's television division for keeping a show about S.H.I.E.L.D. going for 4 seasons. I mean, The Winter Soldier happened during season 1, so for them to be at the end of season 4 right now and possibly getting a season 5, that's a hell of a job by them. The movie seemed to completely ignore Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix Marvel shows. And I do understand that it's a longer process to write a movie than it is to write a television series. And the rumored friction between the Marvel movie division and the Marvel TV division probably doesn't help with this at all. But it's hard to ignore the fact that this is all connected. I mean, in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, you have Maria Hill show up, Nick Fury shows up, I think Sif shows up in a couple episodes. There's all types of mentions to things that are happening in the movies. I mean, you have the Kree, you have the Inhumans, and now the Inhumans are going to get their own show. And from what I've heard, it's not going to acknowledge the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at all. It's kind of a jumbled up mess, and it all stems from one decision: trying to get rid of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the movies. Think about it. Besides shock value, what does S.H.I.E.L.D. being destroyed in the MCU really mean? Destroying S.H.I.E.L.D. means that you have too many characters sitting in limbo. I mean, it's a lot of characters that don't have job titles. Hawkeye and Black Widow are Avengers. Nick Fury doesn't have a job title. Maria Hill doesn't have a job title. I mean, sure, they're working with the Avengers, but the question is, should they be? The Avengers should be their own separate entity. I mean, they're independent heroes who do their own thing. And S.H.I.E.L.D. should also be its own separate entity. I mean, it's the government, basically. Having this dynamic would have made the plot for Civil War a little bit better, but I digress. Age of Ultron had Baron von Strucker. He was Hydra, and he had this big operation. He gathered some of the Chitauri ships and their tech. Somehow he got Loki's scepter. He was creating metahumans, and he was also working on getting artificial intelligence. So finding out that Hydra was in S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't slow Hydra down one bit, but S.H.I.E.L.D. is no more. Do you think Nick Fury is one of those people that would watch something fall that he devoted his entire life to and that he loved so much and then not try to rebuild it? Nah, I'm not buying that. After the Winter Soldier, we don't see Nick Fury again until Age of Ultron. And guess what? He pops up with a helicarrier. The only reason that was a satisfying payoff is because of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, where Coulson spent pretty much the entire episode being evasive, only to find out that he was trying to get an old helicarrier for Fury. And if you didn't watch the show and you only went to see the movie, you wouldn't have put that together. And also, do you know how many people it takes to run a helicarrier? I mean, this shit doesn't have a push button start. I mean, look at all the people that's helping Nick Fury and Maria Hill run the helicarrier. And S.H.I.E.L.D. is supposed to be gone, right? But you mean to tell me that Nick Fury has this many loyal people where he can just call them up and say, hey, I need you to take a ride with me real quick? And in my opinion, there should have been a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie in phase 2 that happened after Captain America the Winter Soldier. It could have been a Black Widow, Hawkeye, spy type movie. Also, by the way, we still don't know what Hawkeye thinks about this whole Hydra has infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. thing. You would think that him being a top S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, he would have some type of opinion about all of this. But we'll never know. Okay, so here's how that S.H.I.E.L.D. movie would have worked. So after the Winter Soldier, Cap is done with S.H.I.E.L.D. altogether. He's like, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and be an Avenger full time. Nick Fury is dealing with the aftermath. I mean, he's trying to piece everything together, trying to figure out how Hydra infiltrated them, how deep did they get, and also seeing what secrets that they still have that Hydra didn't find out. More specifically, how Nick Fury was able to bring Agent Coulson back to life. You can introduce Coulson's team into the movie. They're on a mission trying to see if a secret SHIELD facility has been compromised, and they run into some trouble, and in comes Hawkeye and Black Widow. You could have some Black Widow and Agent May fight scenes, some Grant Ward and Hawkeye fight scenes, etc. They find out that Loki's scepter has been stolen by Baron von Strucker and that he was doing human tests to try to create some enhanced individuals. There you can introduce the Maximoff twins. After dealing with these twins with enhanced abilities, Black Widow and Hawkeye say, you know what? This might not be something SHIELD can handle. This might be an Avengers thing. And now the beginning of Age of Ultron makes more sense. Ultimately, Nick Fury decides that he's going to go underground, and he says, Maria Hill, you're now the new director of SHIELD. There would be an end credit scene where newly appointed director Maria Hill is going through some of Fury's files. One of the files would have a blue alien that SHIELD has captured and nobody knows about because it's super top secret, and the Tahiti Project. Also, Maria having a flashback of Coulson saying Tahiti is a magical place. There's something in there about a theory about enhanced humans called Inhumans, an old program that was scrapped, and it was written by Hank Pym called the Ultron Initiative. Reports of a man with a flaming skull riding on a motorcycle, failed Wakanda surveillance attempts, and a picture of a red book with a star on it that can control the Winter Soldier. Also, that can set up tension between Fury and Cap because Nick Fury was trying to find the red book so he can turn Bucky and the other 6 Winter Soldiers into SHIELD weapons. This dynamic between Cap and Fury could play out over several movies because Nick Fury gives you every reason not to trust him, but you do know that you have to trust him because in the end, he is working towards the greater good, just like Steve saw in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. A movie like this could have accomplished so much. You set up all the events of Age of Ultron, you give teasers to Civil War, and you give the Agents of SHIELD TV show legitimacy, all while still keeping SHIELD relevant in the MCU. And it's not like the general public wouldn't know that these things are all tied in. You know why? At the end of every Marvel movie, they have something that comes up that says, this character will return. So at the end of the SHIELD movie, it could say, the secret of Agent Coulson's resurrection will be revealed on Marvel's Agents of SHIELD, Tuesdays at 8 o'clock on ABC. See? That's not that hard. Agents of SHIELD started off as kind of like a bridge to see what's happening in the MCU in between movies. Now this show has become its own thing, and it doesn't rely on the larger MCU for some of its momentum. And you have to commend them for keeping this show going. I really enjoy it, and it's good to see that we can still have these characters like Coulson, May, Fitz and Simmons, Daisy. We wouldn't have seen these characters' growth if SHIELD, quote unquote, was destroyed. Overall, I just feel like getting rid of SHIELD was a mistake. In the comics, SHIELD has always had a presence, and I feel like it should always have a presence in the MCU as well. And on the other side of that coin, you always have to have Hydra. Cut off one head, 2 more shall take its place. After Red Skull, you had Alexander Pierce in the Winter Soldier. You could have moved on to Baron von Strucker being the leader of Hydra, and then also having Zemo being the leader of Hydra, but that would have changed Civil War, and I think it would have changed it for the better because Zemo's plan would have been better. And Civil War would have been a whole different movie, but I'll address that in another video. So that's my opinion on why SHIELD being destroyed was a bad idea. Also gave you a little idea of what I thought a SHIELD movie should have been. I would love to know what you guys think about this theory, so drop it in the comment section and tell me what your thoughts are. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's very much appreciated. Check out one of the other videos on the screen if you haven't seen it, and I'll catch you on the next one.